into the live space. Let's see. We've got the Leo attorney and Brian's in. She's in. And I'm just going to go ahead and bring everybody on in. I'm Judge Person, and I'll ask that everybody stay muted. But again, I'm Judge Person, and I'll just ask that everybody stay muted. But I do want to welcome everyone. I'm watching people get connected to their audio. Welcome to the Temple Municipal Court. And once again, I'm Judge Person, and I will ask that you stay muted until it's your turn. But I do welcome everybody to court. We're actually working two dockets. One is the pretrial docket. The other is the regular general docket. And I just see people for a variety of reasons on the general docket. And I do want to let you know that when you're given a ticket or issued a citation, those are all methods that we have in the law for accusing someone. That is what a ticket is. It's an accusation. And when you give a plea, you're giving your answer or your response to that accusation. There are three options for pleading. And what I'll tell you is that, sorry, I'm just looking at something I haven't seen before. There are three options for pleading: guilty, not guilty, and no contest. Pleading guilty means I did this. Not guilty means I'm contesting this. No contest means I'm not admitting it. I'm not denying it. I'm just going to move forward without saying yes or no. So when you're given a ticket or issued a citation, those are all methods that we have for just making that accusation. And your plea is your answer or response. And so I just want to kind of make sure I know who's here. Mr. Vernell is the name on the screen, but I actually have identified you just earlier. Hold on, I found you as Mr. Harlequin. You have your hand up. I'm going to go ahead and lower it, but unless you have a specific question right now, but I don't I'm not showing that you have audio. I'm not clear that you can hear me. So I'm just going to send him a chat. And I have a few people logging in late that I'm going to go ahead and let in. Okay, so a couple of things too. There, I'm just trying to identify folks and see who they are. I do see a couple of phone numbers. A phone number beginning with an area code of 409 and ending the last 3 to 4 numbers are 326. I'm asking if you'll unmute. It's a 409 area code. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Kara Cooper.
Okay, Ms. Cooper, I do have you logged in, and I'm just going to make note that that's your number. Being on the phone, okay, you can't see the people that are here. You're in the line, you're in the queue, and sorry, I'm being passed a note. I definitely know that you're here, and what's going to happen is that when it's your turn, I'll call your name out. And, that point, I'll ask you to unmute again. So just be listening. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I'm going to remute you, Ms. Cooper, but I'll be back with you. And I'm just a person. There's actually, we have about 26 or 7 people in the meeting. And so everybody's going to have a turn to be heard. And everybody will have an opportunity or a chance. And I see Vernell, Mr. Harlequin, you got your audio connected. It looks like perfect, great, and you're in line. I saw you, and I think that was probably what your question was about. You had your hand up because your audio was struggling to connect. So if you get into trouble, folks, with audio or something like that, I've already noted the line. I watched as people logged in. So if you have to disconnect and reconnect, I'm always watching. And I'll let you back in the meeting, okay? Because I see a few people struggling with that. Usually the problem is on the other end, because I've got really heavy duty bandwidth carrying me, and sometimes our home connections aren't as strong. And so sometimes it's helpful just to log off and log back on but I have everybody muted, and I'll ask that people stay muted until it's your turn. Because if we all talk at once, it's just like if we're in a room and we all talk at once, nobody gets heard. I've got another phone caller, a 254 area code, and the last 3 to 4 numbers are 996. And I'm asking you to please unmute and tell me your name. You came in a little bit late, but I've got you noted to be here. But who are you, please? Hello? On the telephone?
Hello?
Yeah, hi, what's your name?
Gerald Orcutt.
Okay. Mr. Orcutt, I also have you visually logged in. And so let me see what's going on with that. I think that's your audio is on your phone. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, that's good for now. I see your other system. I think you're logged in 2 ways. And I see your other system trying to connect. You're welcome to stay on the phone. We can work around that. It's a little more helpful for you if you're able to get on both audio and visual, just because the way the brain works, it's helpful. So I'm going to encourage.
I'm really trying to do that.
I'm going to encourage you to continue to try to get that connection to happen. But when it's your turn, we'll figure out where you're at with that, and we'll just go with what's going to work best. Okay.
Okay, well, right now it's just showing my keypad for the phone.
Yeah, it's fine. I see both trying to connect, and the phone is connected, and that's what we're talking on. And then, I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I've got 20-something people, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time troubleshooting that or explaining that to you. But what I will tell you is that, like everybody else's system, as long as that other system is logged in, it's going to keep trying, and that's fine. Once we get both, if we get both systems logged in, we might we'll pick which one is going to be the audio, because if we run 2 audios at once, it just will echo mercilessly for both of us. So just let it continue to try to do its thing. I'm going to remute you, but we'll be back with you. Just listen for your name because you're in the queue for the pretrial. And I had already noted you here because you were early on the video login. Okay, so I just want to just go back over like a handful of things that are helpful for folks, and I just will re-highlight that a ticket is an accusation, a plea is an answer to the accusation. The plea options in a court like this one are guilty, not guilty, no contest. Guilty is yes, I did it as charged. No contest is I'm not yesing or knowing, I'm just moving forward. And not guilty is I want a trial. Okay. Now, when you plead not guilty and you want a trial, we're doing the privilege of Zoom right now for that first pretrial because some things are resolvable. But ultimately, we're coming here for a pretrial and a trial. Okay. And I get folks who say, I want a trial, but I don't want to have to come to court. And, I can't help you with that. You have to be in court for a trial. I mean, there's just not a great way to do it without. So, I mean, technically, although you might, you can consult with an attorney and get legal advice about that issue if you wish. Incidentally, if you wish to meet with an attorney before you get started, if your case is one where a plea has not yet been accepted by the court, which can happen a lot of different ways in a Class C court, but if it has not yet happened and you wish to meet with an attorney, let me know that before we proceed today, and we'll reschedule you to come back a different day. With or without an attorney is your choice, okay? But at a Class C level, while you have the same rights, the right to counsel is not court appointed. It's you get that attorney that you choose, okay? You go out and find one, and you come back with one or without one. But the right is not as to have one; it's to consult with one of your choice. So just let me know. We'll give you a break, and you can come back on a different day, okay? So when it's your turn, if you have questions about that, I can't give you legal advice, but I can tell you how things move through a court. I can let you know if your plea has already been accepted. Sometimes people trigger that, like they send in a check or something like that. But we'll just see where we are, okay? Each person's case is kind of different. And then let me just talk a little bit about dismissal options and what's available here at the court and how things move through a municipal court. So generally speaking, if you plead guilty or no contest, you're found guilty, you pay the fines and costs, the item goes on your record. Okay, as to payment, that's income-based. I do look at income. I probably gave you information and asked for information back, a form in the form of a form that you fill out that we call a financial affidavit. I do not like to have people fill out the same information different ways at different points in the process. It makes no sense to do that, and it floods my office and file with documents that are repetitive. So I ask everybody at the front of the equation for the exact information that you need for two different purposes. So if you're found guilty or you're being sentenced, that serves as a payment application. If you're moving to trial, that serves as a bond discussion, okay? And I'm looking at the bond and what you post in terms of a bond for trial. Because when you're scheduling trial, we also schedule a bond to be either paid or a personal bond, appearance bond. And I do look at income for both setting a payment plan and setting a bond. So I do get folks who say, I don't think I should have to fill that out because I'm not guilty. And the answer to that is, under the law, I have the right to say, then you need to post a cash bond right now, or I don't schedule anything for your case, because you must secure your appearance. And my decision is you secure it by filling out a form. And then we go from there and see if you need to post a cash bond or not. If you don't want to do it that way, you have the right to just demand to post a cash bond, and I will let you, and you post a cash bond. Okay, so that's how that works. So it works both ways, that information. It's not an assumption that you're guilty. It's just necessary, and I do require it. Okay, so that's that one. And then I do look at income, and some people don't have income. and some people lose their income, and some people have decent income. And it's all different, and everybody's situation is different. And that's why I ask to look at it, so that I don't demand a high bond from someone who can't pay it, and I don't demand a low bond from someone who can pay, because the law says I'm supposed to look at it. Okay. But I use that information a lot of different ways. And that includes that if we're in sentencing and you need payment options, I know whether I'm supposed to give what I'm supposed to do there. Okay. Another thing you need to know is that when you plead guilty or no contest and I'm moving into sentencing, there's still 4 dismissal options. And let me tell you what I'm allowed to do from the bench and how that works. So compliance dismissals, driver safety course options, deferred dispositions, and teen court. Let me tell you quickly how each of those work and what your duty is at each point. So compliance dismissals are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed. You must be on time for 98% of those. There are about 14 in the code books. I don't expect everyone to know them, and the law says the judge shall dismiss if, and if means you supply certain information, and I'll be looking to see if you're on time, if it's something that qualifies, and what the ifs are, and can I get them from you. So I'll be automatically looking. When it's your turn, you're welcome to ask questions. I can miss something, and you're welcome to ask about it. But you should assume that I'm looking to see if you're qualified for such dismissals. Okay. Like a good example is you're driving down the road, you turn on your blinker, you turn, an officer pulls over. He or she says you didn't put on your blinker. You said, I know I did. And lo and behold, it's broken. And they write you for a broken blinker, defective equipment. You come in on time to court. You prove that you fixed it. And instead of the ticket, you pay a $10 fee and we dismiss it with proof. Okay. So that's boom, an example. And like I said, there are a bunch. And I'll walk you through those. You're welcome to ask me about them. The second option is a driver safety course option. Once again, you must be on time to court. You must select the driving safety course option at your first appearance, which is the first time you appear in court. That would have been either when you appeared at the window and you elected to do it, or you filled out a form and got an extension. Okay. So I'll be looking at what you provided to the court, seeing if you're on time. Then I check the license and see if it's one that allows me to proceed, and the offense, and see if it's one that allows me to proceed with the driving safety course option. And that's the preliminary. Then I'll ask you a series of questions to see if you're qualified. Listen carefully, and I'll probably do that with somebody through the course of the morning. And then you pay your court costs. Your fines go on hold. You provide proof of the proper license and insurance, and you take a course and get your driving record turned in on time, and the case gets dismissed and the fine that was on hold gets waived. Just a word about court costs and fines. I want to address that up front. Under Texas law, in the driving safety course option, you pay the court costs, but not the fines. And if you complete the program, the fines, you don't pay them. You will save money, even though you're going to take the course and get your driving record, because under state law, the fines are higher than taking the course and doing the driving record. That's by design, because we want people to take that course. When you've had a ticket, you move into the higher bracket of risk. And if you're 25 and under, you're in the highest group in the nation. Texas has not the best track record in terms of accidents, injury, damage, and even death. So that's kind of what drives that program. And it's frankly why I think we've been able to keep it in place. But we as a consumer save money when that happens. So court costs are set by the Texas legislature. Fines are set by the judge, that would be me. The legislature deems that we pay court costs to the court, and the court sends those to the state of Texas. The fines are local. They're paid locally. In other words, they come locally. They come into the court, but they go into the general fund. They don't go into the fire department, code enforcement department, animal services department, police department. They go to the general fund. The council generally has those deemed for streets, roadways, sidewalks, etc. There are a variety of programs and things that they spend those on. The court does not look at how they spend those. We as tax persons in the community look at that. And those happen at city council meetings, okay? The court costs go to the state. Now, the court costs are not insubstantial. I have watched them over a 20-year period go from $50 to $150. And that's just, your representative does that, so you can talk to them. They're about to meet, so now's a good time to have that conversation if you choose. In the driving safety course option, the fines go on hold and they get waived if you complete the program. I think I've said that. So it's still cheaper to do that program if you're qualified than to pay the whole ticket. And it keeps it off your record. It keeps you from having points. Some people's insurance goes up when they get convictions or a certain number of convictions, and it can prevent that from happening. This is not a program that is available for CDL holders. I just do need to let you know that up front. That's a state law that I have to follow, okay? So anyway, that's the driving safety course option. And then the deferred disposition, that's the third thing I mentioned. Deferred means to delay. Disposition means to make final. I take your plea in, I delay making the case final. I put a court order in place. It lists the things on paper that you're expected to do to get a dismissal. It's in writing, you sign for it. You're gonna need to get that signature today. We'll sort out how we're doing payments and what adjustments need to be made with each person, whether there's a course, a record, a paper due of some kind, okay? It kind of depends on the case itself and the person and the offense and their history and the offense. And then, we put that order in place. If you follow the listed items in that order, you gain a dismissal. It's a known outcome. In a Class C court, you can ask the judge on a plea of guilty or no contest for that option. The judge will consider that option each time they're asked, okay? We're required to, okay? So what that looks like, guilty or no contest, I'd like a deferred. It's that simple. And then I start talking to you about it and you'll see somebody do it. It was on the form you filled out. You might have looked at it and not known what it was. And it is on the website, but some people did not get a chance to look at that or don't. And I therefore explain it to you when we're here, okay? Because you did log in. So that's that one, okay? That's the third one. And then the fourth one is a teen court option, and that's really going to be your high school, middle school, or homeschooled students. GED students can often qualify as well. And I'm looking, it's very similar to a deferred. It works a little bit differently because the burden, or what we call the onus, is on the young person to do what they need to do to not be back in court, rather than having a parent just pay, okay? So teen court is an option as well for many folks. And if you're underage or in school, or it appears you're in school, I should be pushing you to do teen court. And if I'm not doing that and you want teen court and you're a student, you need to let me know. Not college students, but high school, middle school, homeschool, heading to the high school diploma is what we're talking about. So those are the four options I have. I don't have secret options, okay? Everything that I do has a law behind it, okay? And that way I know what I did is consistent with you, okay? So that's always going to be the case. It's cleaner, it's easier, it's better, okay? And then the prosecutor is here to vet his case. His name is Ryan Matson. You may or may not be able to see him on your screen. Mr. Matson, unmute and talk for a moment about you and who you are so that you pop up on the screen for folks.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ryan. I'm the prosecutor for Temple.
Thank you, Mr. Matson. And I'm actually going to move you forward with the pretrial docket. We have Attorney Leal here, and that is on the Donahoe case. And let me get that moving forward. Let's see, Attorney Leal, Kira Leal, Kyra or Kira?
Kira, Your Honor.
Okay, Kira Leal. Ms. Leal, I'm moving you forward into that meeting. Matson at this time. Ms. Matson. Okay. And they'll be back shortly. And in the meantime, Caitlin Kleinsmith, can you go ahead and get on screen, please, and unmute? That would help.
I do not have camera capabilities.
Okay. All right. Just give me a second. I'm pulling up your file. Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the thing. Okay. I keep going around and around with you.
Yes,
And
unfortunately.
I'm actually kind of getting to the point where I'm not going to be willing to work with you anymore. So I needed you to get on today. I'm glad you're here, and I will try, and I'll give you the options that are available at this point. Okay.
Okay.
And see where you want to go. Okay. Right now, I have community service with you, and it's on a speeding charge from December 30th of 2014. Looking at it just briefly, I probably have a hold on your license.
Yes.
And, you know, your community service is due or was due November 15th. I don't have it. I did get a letter from you, and your letters always, they're very polite, and you say, oh, I'll do anything you tell me to do, but then you don't do anything I tell you to do. And, you know, well, I'm just going to be heard first, and then I'll give you an opportunity to be heard. But I've read all your letters and you haven't listened to me. So I'm going to be heard now.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was hitting like the mute button. There was some background noise.
There's always a reason, but I'm just going to let you know that that's how I'm going to conduct business today. So, yeah. And so, you know, I know that you were needing to get your license, and I said, well, I need some, you also send me things that even when I blow them all the way up, I can't read them. They're teeny tiny print. And, you know, that's something that is very frustrating because I don't always know what you're trying to tell me. I do my best to read everything. I know you've been in a shelter. I know that you had to exit an abusive relationship. I've been able to make that out. I've asked that you send in proof of that shelter. I could count it towards community service. I don't get that information from you. Sometimes people are nervous about disclosing it, but I have to be able to call someone and verify that you're there, or that isn't going to work. But that's an option. It's not the only option for community service. And then, you know, I can give you more time to get your community service done. I'm prepared to do that on that case. At this point, it's 22 hours of community service. It was already due. I can give you a new due date of December 22nd, and we can see if we can get some progress there.
Okay.
So that's an option for that case. Do you want more time?
Yes, more time would be a big help.
Okay, so that's done.
Greatly appreciate it.
Okay, that's easy. Now, I also have a no insurance charge, and this is a stop December 30th of 2014, and it's the same stop. And then I have what's called a violation of the promise to appear. And both of those cases, I can't talk to you about the details of those cases because you've pleaded not guilty. I've scheduled you for Zoom and you know, you may have seen people can call in with a phone, you know, that you can literally dial in with a telephone, but you didn't dial in. I scheduled a final pretrial for you to come into court because that's what we do when Zoom doesn't work. So some people can't manage it or whatever. I don't really know why people don't come in. But we scheduled them to just come on in for me to figure out what's going on. Both of those attempts failed. You know, initially you were saying, I can't be there and I can't log in and I can't make myself available, but I want a trial. And I'm here to tell you, if you want a trial, you're going to have to come to court for a trial and a pretrial. So I have you scheduled today to talk to Mr. Matson because you have maintained that you are not guilty on the insurance charge and you are not guilty of not coming to court on time. So I do want to tell you the insurance charge, the question at a trial is whether you were insured at the time of the stop. And juries this is for everybody's benefit to know this. A jury is instructed that all they're allowed to do is consider whether you were driving the vehicle and whether you driving that vehicle, you were insured at that time. They're not allowed to consider whether there was a good reason why you weren't insured. That's a sentencing issue. I can consider it in sentencing, but I can't find people not guilty because they had a good reason. And that's where Texas law has chosen to follow come down on. So, for example, if I'm driving down the road and I hit somebody and I hurt them or I damage their vehicle or even kill them, and then I find out I'm not insured, I don't get to say, well, I didn't mean to do that, and so I'm not responsible. They're allowed to sue me or my insurance company or both. So where we do that in Texas is it's a strict liability thing. Were you insured or not? If you weren't, they're not allowed to consider bias, sympathy, prejudice in looking at that issue. So I'm just going to deposit that with everybody because people get confused and they think things like, I didn't mean to speed and so it's okay. I didn't mean to be uninsured, so it's okay. I didn't mean to not show up for court, and it's okay. Strict liability attaches to traffic code cases. And when we get here in court, they're instructed about that. They're told you can't, you're not to consider those things because they're not supposed to. In fact, the other side of this case is allowed to object and not even let you mention those things. So I need everybody to understand that because we're getting in this loose culture where people think that their frame of mind while driving is what controls the drive. And it's simply not. I mean, why we ran the light doesn't help the person we hit. And so the state law is really clear about this. And Texas has been really clear about this for a long, long time. Traffic is strict liability. And it just is. Now, the issue of non-appearance in court, and this is again for everybody's benefit, when you get that ticket, an officer is authorized to give you a court date. That way they don't arrest us. So again, we always have rights, but our rights are connected to duties. So for example, we have the right against unreasonable search and seizure. That's a Fifth Amendment issue. So when you're driving down the road and you're accused of, let's say, doing 5 miles over the posted speed limit, and the officer thinks you did, you think you didn't, maybe you think you did, it doesn't really matter. It's not a question for the side of the road, okay? Clearly, that's just not the place to handle things. So they give you a court date and you go on your way. If you don't sign, they have the right to go ahead and seize you because you're technically under arrest. It would be unreasonable to seize everybody by the side of the road. That just would not work, first of all. And it's, there have been states that did it. I don't think we've done that in Texas in about 4 or 5 decades, but there are still places in the United States where when you get a ticket, they will follow you to go post a bond and for the full amount of that ticket, or they will take you to jail. In Texas, you sign saying, I agree, I have a court date. Doesn't mean I agree that I did it. It doesn't mean I'm guilty. You have the right to contest it. It means I know I have a deadline to appear. When you don't appear, courts can file what is called a violation of the promise to appear. And you can wind up with, a charge. Now, the court can file it every day that you miss. We never have had that practice in this court, and we will not. We file one time because it's the one day. Okay. Now, technically, did you not appear the next day? Sure. Okay. But it's unreasonable, in my opinion. That is my judicial philosophy coming out. So it's the one thing, and then we're done. We don't keep filing on people. We do continue to pursue the case, ma'am. That is how you want it withholds on your license because it went more than 60 days of not coming in before we took those actions that we later took. Those are enhancements in a certain way, because each of those things, the holds on the license, the state entity requires a certain payment on that. There's a collection entity that we employed and they require a certain amount. that gets added. Warrant fees get added. Those are defined financially by state law. There's a $50 fee, or maybe it's 25. I think that one actually went down and we adjusted, but those are mandated. And once they get put on your case, they don't just come off because they're not discretionary. I'm not allowed as a judge to take them away. So anyway, that's kind of what's happened to you. You are on for the pretrial review today. Mr. Matson is aware that even though you weren't scheduled, he's willing to talk to you about those because you pleaded not guilty. So I have you scheduled for that, Ms. Kleinsmith.
Am I able to change my plea?
You are.
I just want to get it taken care of because I really got to get my license back right.
Okay. Okay. So what is your plea to the insurance charge?
I know I had insurance on that car.
You have to put that proof for me to
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to approve it. So I'll plead guilty.
Okay. No contest or guilty?
Correct.
Okay. I'll mark that as no contest. And then on the non-appearance for court.
That would be the same situation. I mean, I guess I didn't realize that I needed court or I had to agree to court.
Okay.
But I understand now.
I can add that to your community service and give you a little more time on the deadline.
Okay.
You need to honor your deadlines because when you don't, that means you either turn it in or you turn in what you have and tell me how long you need. It doesn't mean 3 weeks after it's due, you mail something in and say, oops, I forgot. Yeah.
I'm actually 8 months pregnant.
Okay.
Right now as well. So if I could just have that like factored into the time for a little bit. I'm scheduled to have a C-section in the middle of January.
Okay. So I can start with a due date of March 23rd.
Okay.
And it's 68 hours, giving triple credit up front. I will send you a new, a modified community service form. Any nonprofit under the laws of your state is qualified to be the provider. Okay.
Okay.
So what I'm saying there is, you know, any nonprofit, but you have to make sure that it's a nonprofit because, sorry, I'm making notes about your pregnancy status. Any nonprofit, but we'll have to be able to call them and verify their nonprofit status and that you did the hours. Okay.
Okay.
And that's when I release your license.
Okay.
The hold is there until we get it cleared.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any further questions, Ms. Kleinsmith?
No, ma'am.
Okay. You're good to hang up, but we'll expect an email from us. Hopefully you can print it. And, you know, just use the form to document your hours. Read the rules before you get started to make sure you're not going to get it kicked out for being not following the rules. They're very clear and they're very concise. There's not a bunch of rules. There's just a few that are really, I've sort of articulated them already. It must be a nonprofit, hour for hour. You can't get paid when you do these hours, and it can't be a family member that supervises you.
Okay. Thank you.
They do need to be authorized by the entity to sign.
Okay.
There's a tax consequence for them.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Now just stay on target. So if something happens, you know, I need a note. I need whatever you've gotten done and an explanation if it's not finished, turned in and cleared by your due date. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Mr. Matson, I know that you were talking with Ms. Leal about the Donahoe case. Can you give me an update?
Yes, Your Honor. We're going to go ahead and set for final pretrial.
Okay.
I do anticipate that we'll have it wrapped up either on that date or before that date.
Okay. We are already scheduled for final pretrial on November 30th at 1 o'clock. Ms. Leal, are you going to be good with that one? Oh, she's still in the other room. Sorry, I assumed the attorney knew how to get herself out of there. Hold on. Let's start over. Apologies. Fifth time's a charm. I have moved her back several times. There we go. Okay. Ms. Donahue, I'm sorry, Ms. Leal.
Yes, Ron.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were still over in the other space. Mr. Matson informed me we're scheduling final pretrial. It's already been scheduled and that's in your paperwork already, but as a reminder, November 30th at 1 here at the court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll see you then.
See you then.
Bye-bye. Mr. Matson, I'm moving you forward with Gerald Orcutt. And Mr. Orcutt, let's see. I know you're on the phone. I'm going to ask you to unmute on your phone. Gerald Orcutt, can you unmute? Mr. Orcutt? Mr. Orcutt, going once. Yes. Okay. Well, so moving, yes. So I'm going to move you over to the pretrial room. I'm going to move your device over if you tell me that you can see the meeting. Are you watching the meeting?
No, all I have is my keypad.
Okay. Well, I'm going to move your phone over to the meeting. And because I don't think your other device is helping you. And if we need your other device, Mr. Matson will come back over and talk to me and let me know. Mr. Matson, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
When you say, excuse me.
Yes.
When you say other device, I only have the single device. It's a cell phone.
Okay. Well, I have you on my screen identified two ways. One is by phone. The other is by some kind of smart device. And those usually log in as the same device. Let me see if I can merge the two. It says you're, I think it disconnected him.
The other one now says connected to audio.
Great. Okay, that might be better. Mr. Orcutt, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Great. Okay, so let me move you over to that meeting. And when you're done with that meeting, you probably heard us talk, you'll come back into this meeting. And if that's a difficulty with your device, I'll be doing that manually if you can't do it. And then if that doesn't work, well, we'll hang up and have you redial back in. But let's just try this and see. I bet it will work.
Okay.
There he goes. It's moving him slowly. It said it was on a Go program, so it's not moving him. It says, yeah, it says it moved you, but I see that you're still in here. I don't know what to do now. I've not had that happen. Let's hope it moves you, I guess.
Well, what happened with my device just now, it went back to the open screen. So I had to put in my code again to get the screen back on. And then it also said return to call. So I hit that button. I didn't know what else to do.
Well, you knocked yourself out of going into that meeting. You're going to have to hang up And just dial back in with one device. Okay. Maybe whatever's going to work. Just, and I'll move you back into line as soon as I see you in. Okay. But you're going to have
Well,
to
do I
hang up.
need to, do I need to go, back to the Zoom app?
Yes.
Okay, I'll try that.
Okay. I'm going to disconnect you with the understanding that you're going to dial back in.
Okay.
Okay. We'll get it sorted out, but it's taking a lot of time. Let me just let Mr. Matson know, and I'll move him back into line. But dude Payton or Patton, if you can unmute and let me know the best way to say your name, I would appreciate saying it correctly.
Last name is Payton.
Payton, great. I got it the
Yes, ma'am.
first time. Good deal. Okay, Mr. Payton, how are you today?
Not too bad.
Okay, Mr. Matson, Mr. Orchid is going to try again. Something happened with his device and he clicked on something and it meant that he couldn't get over to that meeting without disconnecting. He's going to reconnect. But in the meantime, Mr. Payton, dude Payton, is ready to move forward and I'm ready to move him on into that meeting with you, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
There we go. That's happened. And so I know that first one took a little bit, but we're all good to go. And I'm moving forward with Cameron Wagoner. If you could unmute and tell me how you're doing today while I pull your file up.
I'm good, ma'am, and you?
Thank you for asking. I'm fine. Just looking, you did request a deferral. This is a possession of drug paraphernalia. The costs and fines are $286. And let's see. And I received a plea of guilty and a request for a deferral, which I am inclined to say yes to and grant. I didn't pull the file yet to look what kind of. I normally require some kind of awareness class connected to that. Okay, so usually we do an awareness class for marijuana on this type of charge. 120-day deferral, and we have to sort out payment and costs. Okay. Okay. So that's kind of where I'm heading, and I just want you to have a heads up because I'm going to be asking if you agree. So the first thing I want to know is, can you pay anything towards your balance today?
I could this Friday. I get my check and I can cash it that day or that night.
Half of can you pay all of this? It's $286. That's kind of a lot.
I can't pay all of it, but not in full. I would. Can I ask for a payment plan?
Sure. On Friday, can you pay half, which is $143?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And let me just tell you on the calendar, I'm thinking we're talking about this Friday, we're closed. Okay. So Monday is the 28th. Can we do it then?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then are you paid every 2 weeks or is it different?
Yes, ma'am. Every 2 weeks.
Always on Fridays? Every other Friday?
Every other Friday.
Okay. We could look at the 9th. Are we closed? December. Okay. Would the 9th of December work?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. For the other half. And then your class will be due January 24th. And we'll give you the class information. And I think 4 hours. Is that an option on that particular? Sorry, I keep talking to a clerk and I'll probably go fade out when I do that. I'm just confirming with her that what we have available. I've got a list of places and you'll pick from a list. And I'll do the minimum of 4 hours. And you just pick one that works for you. I don't choose a provider for you because there's a lot of different ones. And frankly, I just need to know that it's going to be one that works. Okay. And so what I'll tell you is The deferral will end March 23rd. Your class is due January 24th. You have 2 payments due, half and half, 11/28 and 12/9. Okay. And then just no warrants, no tickets, no offenses or accusations or failing to appear or come to court. And if you meet those requirements, and keep your address current with us until we're done. If you meet those requirements, then your case can be dismissed. Okay. Now, 2 ways to do this, but I need a signature today. You can come by the court and we'll print it, you sign it here, you get a copy, or we'll send it by email and you print it, sign it legally with your legal signature, not an e-signature, and send it back to us, which will work best for you.
I can come by and sign a physical copy.
Okay,
At
what time?
12 o'clock today, okay?
12 is good. We'll have everything at the front desk for you, and it should only take a few minutes when you get here. Any clerk can help you.
Municipal court building that I came to sign the building?
Yes. Any clerk can help you. Just come on in. When you get here, plan for 15 or so minutes, and then you're good to go. You can find out from them too how to pay online or by phone. And you can email in your class. You can just call and make sure we received it. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. And I'm moving forward with Brentley Beatty.
Got it. Unmuted.
Hello,
Yes. Hi, Miss Beatty. How are you, ma'am?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing fine. The offense charged is a possession of tobacco by a minor. The costs and fines, if you pay it, are $181. I did receive a plea from you in writing, and it was for no contest. I did receive a request for teen court, and I do have the ability to grant that. And with teen court, give me just a moment to look at my schedule. Okay. So with teen court, I would ask that you pay the teen court fee, which is $20.
20.
And that's a cash fee. Can that fee be paid today?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then there will be a tobacco awareness class that you can take online and an essay. The essay is 3 pages and we'll give you a topic when you get here in writing with your restrictions. The tobacco class will be online, and that one will give you course information when you get here today to do the $20. And you'll sign a teen court agreement that says that you agree to get the course and the class turned in by December 22nd. And then I agree that if you do that, I dismiss your charge and waive the $181.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. We'll have everything at the front desk for you. Bring your guardian or parent with you. And let's see, you know what? I think I might have jumped the gun and not reviewed your documents with you. Hold on. Where are those documents? They're not coming. Are they already signed? We emailed some.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We sent some documents to you. Can you print them?
Yes, we
And
signed them last night.
Okay. Okay. You emailed them to us or you just
Yeah.
signed them?
We
Okay.
emailed them.
I have another copy I could drop off too.
Well, if you emailed them and I didn't know to look for it, so I'm going to pull them up. Okay. And while the clerk is doing that for us, Mr. Mattson had been talking to Mr. Patton, and I'm going to move him back over so that we can take a status update there. Mr. Orcutt, your timing is perfect because we're about to take your case up. Hang on just a moment. Just stay handy. Mr. Patton, can you unmute, sir? Hayden, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Great, I can hear you too. So, Mr. Matson, Mr. Hayden, start with Mr. Matson. Where are we with these cases?
Your Honor, Mr. Patton has actually provided proof of compliance on both charges to the court already, so I'll be dismissing both.
Okay, you'll send that over?
Yes, I will.
Okay, I will sign those. Mr. Patton, sorry. We're gonna email those once I sign them. We'll email them to you. That'll be sometime this morning, okay?
It sounds good.
Okay, that'll be in your inbox soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Payton. Okay. So, let's see. Mr. Matson, hold on. Let me move you forward. And Mr. Orcutt has gotten his problems solved. Mr. Orcutt, can you unmute?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, great. Let me move you over to that meeting. That's a pre-trial on contested docket, and the system will take you over there now. And it looks like it's going to do work because he froze on the screen, but it's taking a minute to do it. And that's just been true with his system. So hopefully it's going to work out. Oh. Well, I'll keep an eye on that. Miss Beatty, there he went. Miss Beatty,
Yes.
where did you email those?
To whatever the paperwork.
We just scanned them
And sent them in. I'm not the best
You know what
at.
time? You know what time?
Probably around 8:30 last night.
Okay. We so far haven't found them, so hang on. We're trying to see if we can find them just by the time.
I do have a hard copy.
Okay, we're gonna have you bring the hard copies in.
Okay.
Let me get them on screen. I don't know. I just need them. Okay, so the first page, this one has to do with your warnings. As a juvenile, you have certain rights. Were you
Right.
able to read through that, and did you have any questions about those?
No.
Okay, so you'll just sign at the front desk.
Okay.
You'll actually, you'll sign at the front desk. Because what I need is one copy that also has my signature.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be at the front desk for you to sign, and then we'll make a copy of that for you.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the next one, labeled number 2 at the bottom,
Right.
is just confirming the address. Is that, I don't want to put your address on the Zoom meeting,
Yes,
it's
that is
written-
correct.
it's written at the top. Is
Yes,
that
ma'am.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then you'll sign when you get here.
ma'am. Okay.
And just know that you have a duty to keep it current till it's done, till we're done.
Okay.
And then the third one tells you it's a lot of legal language, and you'll fill in the top quickly and sign at the bottom. And that
Right.
one just says that there's a duty to keep your address current until your case is completed. And it
Yes.
tells you legally what you're required to do to change your address with us if you move.
Yes, ma'am.
And then the one after that just says that you know that at the end of this hearing today, we'll have a court order in place and you're required to follow it until everything is done. Okay.
Okay.
And then the last one just says that under Texas law, you can have this case expunged at a certain point. And
Yes, ma'am.
with tobacco, what that really means is that you have the right to remove this case from your record. Actually, when you are finished. So you'll qualify for the dismissal and you'll qualify for the expunction at the same time.
Okay,
Okay. So if you want it removed, you have to file a written request, pay
Okay.
a small fee, and ask for a hearing, and then it gets granted. You have a lot of shielding as a juvenile anyway, and there is very little chance that anyone could find this type of case. But if you find that it impedes your ability to gain employment, there's some very niche areas later in your life where it would or could. Very rare with a tobacco case.
Okay.
Then you have a way to file a request to remove
Okay.
it. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Everything will be at the front. You'll read through it, sign it, and you'll get a copy of everything. There'll be a tobacco class paperwork so that you can choose a class and an essay assignment. Okay.
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 All right. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Mom, do you have questions?
No, thank you.
Okay. We'll see you at the front. Sam, what time
Okay.
will y'all be in?
Can we go in the next hour?
Yes, you can.
Okay,
Okay. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you to you too.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Very nice. Okay. Moving forward, Adam Gonzalez, are you here? Unmute. Earlier, I thought. Adam Pena Gonzalez. Okay, I'm going to skip him for right now and move forward with Christopher Higginbotham.
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Higginbotham. How are you today?
Good. And my
Yeah.
camera's broken, by the way.
I'm sorry, what?
My camera's broken.
Okay. Tell me your date of birth.
04/27/2004.
Okay. This is an expired registration charge, and it has fines and costs of $151. The accusation date is September 19th. I did receive a plea of no contest. And let's see. I did receive a request for payment plan of $30 to $40 a month. I also received information that leads me to believe that you don't have income right now. So I could order.
Mom just had surgery, and I was on the way to get her medicine. That's why. And she would have told me that my registration was expired because I didn't know. And I was on the way to get her medicine. So.
Okay, well, I received a plea of no contest, and normally I just move into sentencing. I will tell you that under state law, registration tag is on the car, and we just charge the person driving. It's assumed that the person driving should be checking, and they are responsible. Are you wanting to try to have a trial and back out of your plea? What are you trying to do?
I mean, yeah, trial's fine if I could.
Okay, so you're pleading not guilty, and you want a trial. Is that right? You're changing your plea from no contest to not guilty?
So if I do no contest, it's just going to be the payment plan?
No, if we do no contest, I was trying to talk to you about community service, but all of a sudden you started talking about it like as if you wanted a trial. And, if you want a trial, we've got to stop talking. We need to move your case to a trial process where you have a pretrial, and I don't talk about your case. I move you into a trial process. And then if you're found guilty, we deal with payment at that point. I don't know. It's up to you. You have the right to a trial. You've already disclosed to me that it wasn't registered, and that you feel like you're not accountable because you're just the driver. But Texas law says the jury will be told. They're going to be told that the driver is the one who's accountable.
Okay. Well, I'll just do a trial then.
You want a trial?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm scheduling you for a final pretrial on February 8th at 1 o'clock. You need to be here.
Be like at the court building?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there. We'll email that to you. We'll see you in February. You must be in court or you will get a warrant. You need to be on time. It's at 1 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll use the email that we used to set up this meeting.
Could you tell me that email real quick?
Well, what did you, why don't you tell me the email that we sent the meeting?
I think it's Hick3027.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. At 12. Okay. And then I am moving forward and I'll call one more time for Adam Gonzalez. Are you here? Maybe I was mistaken. Ariel Day, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
All right. Yes, I can. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, Ariel. I have, let's see, you as a teen court possible person, you're enrolled in school, and I have a no driver's license charge and a no insurance charge. The license charge has fines and costs of $181, and the insurance has fines and costs of $281. I did receive a plea of guilty on the insurance charge, and I received a plea of guilty on the no license charge. Are those your pleas today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And a quick question, are you licensed now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you in the process of getting a license?
We're trying to get them.
Okay, where are you in that process?
You're getting signed up on the computer.
We're getting signed up on the computer.
Her class on the computer. I'm sorry. Permission to speak, Judge?
Yes, that'd be great.
I'm Ariel's father.
Okay.
And we had went down to the DPS office and they gave us the information on how to get online classes.
Okay. How long is that class as far as hours go?
I'm not sure. We haven't even started yet. Our Wi-Fi went out, so we're not unable to pay it.
Okay.
The end of the month, we'll have it connected back.
Okay. All right. And then was the vehicle insured?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Is it now insured?
No, ma'am, not yet.
Okay. On teen court, a lot of times I don't like to duplicate. So if you're doing a course, I don't want to schedule you to do another course that's the same information. You know what I mean? Because the goal is not punishment so much as, recidivism avoidance. So just to not have you do this anymore. So I'm almost feeling like we should take a 30-day break till December 22nd and see if you can get the license and insurance. And then we can see if you qualify for one or more dismissals. And if not, we could go into teen court as sentencing on what's available. Can we reschedule you 30 days and give y'all time for Ariel for you to go ahead and get sort of, set up to maybe look at, getting this to a place where you're driving lawfully and the vehicle is lawfully able to be driven?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's reset you. Maybe we can have a few more options available. Y'all can get the problem solved with the Wi-Fi, get at least signed up for your class. Maybe you'll get it done and get your license, maybe not. We'll just see where you are. But plug away and have that be your goal, is to try to get insured or be as close to it as possible and try to have insurance or be as close to that as possible. Okay? So December 22nd, and we'll reschedule your meeting. I just needed your signature on the reschedule. Can you come swing by the court today sometime to sign?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what time?
The next 30 minutes.
Okay, that's about 10:45, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll see you then at the window. It won't take very long, okay?
Thank you.
You have a good Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too, Ariel. Appreciate it. Y'all are good to exit. And Mr. Mattson, I know you and Mr. Orcutt had a discussion happening, and it looks like he's successfully back in the room. And we'll just ask to unmute Mr. Orcutt and Mr. Mattson. Give me an update. Where are we?
We're going to go ahead and set this for final pretrial, Your Honor. I do believe that it will be resolved prior to that date, though.
Okay, so December 14th, 1 o'clock is our final pretrial, and we will schedule everybody to be here. Unless the case is fully taken care of or dismissed, you'll need to be here, Mr. Orcutt, okay?
Okay.
Not that you believe that that's going to happen, but that it's happened. So call the clerk the morning of, and if it's still pending, then we're going to see you here.
Okay. They won't notify me otherwise, huh?
I think the duty is on you to be in court when you're supposed to be, is my
No,
answer.
no, I'm not disputing that at all. My
Yeah,
question is,
I don't get involved in what's happening behind the scenes between the two of you. If I'm presented, for example, with a dismissal, I'm about 99% certain that I would sign it. And you can call a clerk, you can call a clerk and find out that that's happened or not. Okay.
okay, well, I'll be emailing some pictures to the courts anyway. So, and that's
You're
the reason
going to
I
be
asked.
emailing that to Mr. Mattson probably, but okay.
Yeah. Yes.
He's not the court. He is the prosecutor.
Oh, well, that's basically how he put it to me. So,
I
Yeah.
told him to email the photos to Court Online Help so they can be put on his file, Your Honor.
That's fine. That's fine. But it doesn't mean that I look at them or receive them. It means that they go into your file.
I understand.
But the fact that we receive pictures doesn't mean that a dismissal is automatically triggered.
Oh, yes, I understand that.
And so I tell everybody the same thing. If your case is pending, you need to be here because there's some sort of confusion and we need to resolve it at that point.
Yeah, I absolutely would be there on the date.
Okay, we'll see you then unless it's all gone.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So moving the cases forward, Mr. Mattson, you're meeting with Byron Sharkey. No, I'm sorry. Isael Salinas first. Mr. Salinas.
Good morning. Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Let me move you forward into that meeting with the prosecutor.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Can I talk to you quickly about my case?
Well, no, pled not guilty, so no, you can't. You need to talk to the prosecutor first.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, and then we'll come back in and then you can talk to me. He's already waiting for you. Okay, I'm moving forward and let's see, 25. Vernell Halleck, can you unmute so we can talk?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, how are you this morning?
Good, and you?
I'm good, thank you. Let me get your file pulled. So let's see. We have a lot going on, and I did see a request for a payment plan. Normally your cases, let me walk you through them, and then normally I'm looking at community service. There's a no driver's license charge. I just need to confirm your plea is guilty on that charge. I received a written plea of guilty. The fines and costs are $430.30. Is that your plea today?
Yes, ma'am.
Then there's a stop sign charge with the plea of guilty. Fines and costs are $499.20, and a plea of guilty was received. Is that your plea today?
Yes, ma'am.
A no license charge from February 8th of 2021. A plea of guilty was received, and the fines and costs are $430.30. And is your plea guilty at this time?
Say it one more time.
Okay, you pleaded guilty for no license on February 6th, where the fines and costs are $430.30. Is that
Yes.
still your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then a no insurance charge from September 6th of 2022, fines and costs are $281. I received a written plea of guilty. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then a no license charge, let's see, from September 6th, fines and
Yes.
costs are $181, and I received a plea of guilty. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then I received income information, and it does appear to the court that I would order community service normally in this case. And if I did that,
I have a question.
yes,
I don't have a job right now. I'm currently looking for a job, and
Yes.
when I went to the municipal court, I told them I wanted to set up a payment plan, but I thought I'd have a job before then. So I'm kind of in the hard place right now to set up a payment plan.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say to you. I think it looks like a hard place too. And
Yes,
so
ma'am.
normally I would order community service.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh,
I was going to ask you if I can do that.
Yes. So I have a list of places that are local, and you're in Temple. And so that's a lot easier for you. And I would give you that list of places, plus the rules that I require that you follow, plus a few timesheets. And, you get it done and get it turned in according to the rules on time. And then I zero out your balance and release the hold on your license. And
Yes, ma'am.
hopefully then get a license. So
No,
you want to do it that way?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to do that.
Okay. I need you to come by the court to pick everything up. You will not be arrested. It's a safe harbor court as long as you're here to resolve your cases. Can I get you here this morning?
Yes, ma'am. What time?
Noon?
Yes, ma'am. That'd be perfect.
Okay, we'll have everything at the front for you, okay?
Do you need me at the municipal court?
Yes.
Okay.
It won't take long, 15 minutes, and then you'll be on your way.
Okay.
Okay, by noon?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there.
Okay, see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Holidays.
You too, sir. Moving forward, I would talk to Kara Cooper. Can you unmute? Kara Cooper,
Yes.
thank you. Hi.
Yes. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. I have a deferral with you, and your bond was due October 4th. It's November 22nd, and it's still not paid. What's going on?
Yes, ma'am. I had the date of my bond being due, and it was notified. And then I actually been communicating with the court about the fact that I did not have a job, or residency proof of that. And they told me to speak to you about that today in court. I just recently got a job, so I did fill out the deferment form, and I did ask for a payment plan for the bond.
Okay,
If that was
hold on.
the place.
Hang on just a moment. I'm just going to look and see. I don't have her income information. I don't have any emails from her. Did you send income information into the court?
Yes, ma'am. I actually came in person and filled it out.
Okay.
Hello?
Oh, I'm talking to a clerk. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
Can I missing each of these. Well, I thought it would be scanned. So where it said scanned, the payment application, it's not there. What's going on? Let's see, November 14th, it says email and reply. Let me look and see what it's in there. I'm in the case jacket, so that's what I meant by the drop down menu, is just the case jacket. Because, you know, the documents are usually in the case jacket. And it's a reply, and then she wrote in. That just says, we're missing your bond. Okay. I have an email where we just say we're missing your bond, and you say, is this my court date? And we say yes. And then a payment application. The most recent that I have is October 13th. And are you saying there's more in our email? Okay. So Accents Care, are you still working there?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, so you've had income.
When I
It's
went in on the
October
13th,
13th.
yes, ma'am. I actually wanted to make a payment that day, but they told me to wait until my court
Yeah,
date.
you're in a deferred. So here's the thing, you're in a deferred, and it said October 4th. Now, a clerk is not allowed to say, let's just violate your court order. They're just not able to do that. They don't have authority to do that. After that date, you know, you're in violation of your order, and it's up to me whether it's allowed. So they don't, unless you're paying it in full as a bond, they have an exception on that because we know it's resolved, but they don't know what I'm going to do with the case because they're not the judge. So yeah, that's kind of how that would work. So then you applied to pay $50 a month, which is not what your deferred says. So they're not able to do that. Your deferral is now signed by both of us. It wasn't signed on time. It was signed October 18th. So really we had court, we made an agreement, and then nothing happened the way it was supposed to. I'm trying to figure out what happened.
I'm sorry. I actually came in on October 13th. That was the day that I filled out that form.
I know you did.
Oh, okay.
I know that you did, but I'm trying to figure out why we even had payment due October 4th. I don't understand what happened. Give me a moment to review the file further.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't see where we have it. Okay. Okay, yeah, I see. Okay, let's just start at the beginning. Do you want to be on a deferral?
I believe so, if that is an option to be able to take care of the ticket costs, and also be able to have or hopefully have an option to take it off of my record.
Right, that's what a deferral would do. Would keep you from
Yes,
having
ma'am,
a
then I do.
conviction. So in order to do that, I would need to change your deferral and begin that deferral today instead of October 18th. I already have your signature. Do I have your permission to change this to October beginning today, October 22nd.
November 22nd or October?
Well, today is November 22nd, and I would start today because I don't think we've really had an agreement before today.
Okay, yes, ma'am. We can start
Okay.
that today.
Now, payment is no longer due October 4th. We've got to sort out payment. What can you pay towards your balance today?
I can pay $50 today.
I can do $50, but that's going to leave you with 3 payments of $102 on each payment because I'm only going to do 3 payments. I can work with you on the time. So we're going to do $50 today.
Yes, ma'am.
And then that leaves you with 102 and 102. I'm pretty open as to when we do that. Looking at your calendar, when are you paid in your job? What day of the week? Fridays, Thursdays? What's the day?
Yes, ma'am. Every other Friday I get paid bi-weekly. Give me 1 second to pull up my calendar.
Is that going to be this Friday, tomorrow, or next Friday?
Next Friday, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So 2 weeks from that date is the
It'll
16th.
be December 2nd.
Oh, December what?
December 2nd would be my next payday.
Right. 2 weeks later is the 16th. Can we do the second
Yes.
payment of $102 on the 16th?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
That means you're pulling back like $51 each paycheck so that you're ready. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And then
I appreciate that. Thank
yeah, you're welcome. 4 weeks later, we go from the 30th then to the 13th. January 13th is the final payment. Will that work for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then let's see. No class is required. So it's just good behavior, no more tickets, no more fines. I mean, no more court cases. Keep your address current. And I've modified your court order to reflect what we've talked about today. And I've put a little star where I made changes so that you know what those changes are. I want to email you a copy of this, and then you're just following your order. To do payment, you can pay online or by phone or come by the court. It doesn't matter, however you choose to do it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we're resolved, so we're good to go, okay?
Thank you, Judge Person. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Ms. Cooper. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, Mr. Mattson, I know that you were talking with Mr. Salinas. Where are we in regard to his case?
We're going to go ahead and set for final pretrial, Your Honor. Mr. Salinas has requested a trial.
Okay, Mr. Salinas, when you come by on December 14th at 2, that's a final pretrial. It's not the trial. And it'll just take a few minutes, planned for about an hour, just in case. We'll be scheduling bond and handling any pretrial matters that come up at that time. You're not unmuted, but I'm assuming you heard me. Did you hear me?
I'm sorry, ma'am. You said December 2nd?
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, I believe you said December.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't. I said November what? December, hold on just a moment. Okay, December 14th at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
It was on your, it's on the paperwork that we sent you through email. It's already on there, but
Oh, is it? Okay.
yeah, but that's the date. We'll see you then. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am, I see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Mattson, moving you forward with Byron Sharkey. and Mr. Sharkey moving you forward. He's gone on over. And I just need to I need to check in a little bit. I've got a few people that I'm not clear who they are. Let's see. We have.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. You're done with me, right, Mrs.
Yes, I
Salinas?
thought you hung up. I apologize. I thought you hung up.
Okay.
You're good
Sorry,
to
ma'am.
go.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
I'm good. Good. No, now I know everybody. I've sorted out. Okay. I'm moving forward then with Amanda Melendez. Ms. Melendez, can you unmute and tell me how you're doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, ma'am. Let's see. This is a speeding charge and a plea of guilty, a request for teen court, and we do have proof of enrollment. You also are working, and this is an accident. This is not an accident case. We've got 45 and a 61. Okay. Sorry, 61 and a 45, excuse me. Got turned around. Is guilty your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the request is for teen court?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I will grant your request. There is a teen court fee of $20. Can you pay that fee today?
I believe so.
We got to be sure.
Yes, probably within an hour.
Yeah, you're going to come by to do it.
Okay.
And then there's going to be a driving safety course that you do, and it's going to be due in 30 days.
Okay.
And we will have course information when you come by. Can you be here in the next hour or so?
Yes, ma'am.
By noon, perhaps?
Yes.
Okay, we'll see you by noon. We'll have everything at the front desk for you, including how to find a course that we'll approve.
Okay, thank you.
You're good to go. Okay. Ms. Shepherd, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you this morning?
Pretty good so far.
So I do have, let's see. It's a no insurance charge. I received a plea of guilty and also a request for an extension to provide proof of insurance. So I just want to make sure I understand what's happening.
Yes, ma'am.
So under Texas law, if you were insured at the time of the stop, which was September 23rd, I do have the ability to dismiss the charge. So if you can provide that proof, let's get that proof and do that dismissal because it's easier. Were you insured when you were stopped?
Sorry, can you please, Mom, can you please be quiet for first? Sorry, one more time. Can you? You breaking in and out, so it's kind of hard to understand.
Okay. Were you insured when they stopped you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you given us that proof?
No, ma'am, I have not. I just delivered a baby November 13th. So
Okay.
and plus I have not been back to work because I had difficulties in my pregnancy. So my pregnancy was kind of early. So, and plus I don't have any car insurance. I've not been driving and I'm a single mom. So it's kind of hard to do all that by myself.
Were you insured on the date you were stopped, which was September 24th?
I believe it was in, not in October, but the next month before.
Okay, here's the question. September 24th, were you insured driving the vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I need proof.
Okay. my roommate was in the vehicle with me, but I don't have any proof of of anything.
Whose car is it?
It's mine. I got it for my birthday gift. I bought it from a car lot. The person that had the car before me washed the title, so I don't have it in my name yet, but I'm getting it.
Okay. Were you paying insurance?
Yes, ma'am. I did have car insurance. Yes.
Who was carrying the insurance for you? Who were you paying?
AMATS, through AMATS.
Okay. Can you go to them and ask them to give you proof that you were covered?
Yes, ma'am. But after the time when I got pulled over, I didn't have car insurance.
Okay. Can you bring me your can you bring me your car insurance information and we can call them?
Yes, ma'am. I don't have them anymore. I'm getting a new car insurance because it was so my mother was on my car insurance as well. So we drive through Austin back and forth from Papa John's. So I had to make sure we do have car insurance. Yes.
Okay, but what I'm trying to do is find your previous insurance.
Okay, so last time I paid was my father is the one paid last time. It was October 2nd, I believe. October 2nd, because I couldn't pay October 1st.
Okay, do you have your father there with you?
No, ma'am, he's at work.
Or your mother?
She's here, but she was with us, but I took his card in to pay for it.
Okay, maybe you can go to the place where you were paying.
Okay.
And get a copy of what you had before.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
And bring it here. Can you do that?
Yes, ma'am. I would have to ask my mother-in-law to take me up there because I'm not driving, and plus, like I said, I'm a single mom, and I just delivered a baby, and I have a 15-month-old, so I've been very stressed out. I don't know when I'm supposed to go back to work, so that's why I asked for talk to you to do payments. I do get SSI, but I don't get like how much like I'm supposed to, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. You're doing very well.
Thank you. I try to keep my head up.
You're doing very well. There's a lot and you're doing super. But I want to try to get it resolved with you. And the easiest thing is if we can see about the old insurance,
Yes,
and maybe we can dismiss it. So if you can bring me the old insurance information, like so we can call and verify it, that would really help a lot. Can your mother-in-law you said your mother-in-law, can she bring you here today?
Yes, ma'am. I can see because she has to go up to the hospital, go see the baby, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So I know she's sleeping because she's been really worn out. And I asked her, I'm going to ask her today if she can take me up there. If not, can I try to do it Monday?
Yes. And try to just bring that insurance information with you.
All right.
Okay. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to get it to us.
All right.
On my own. And we're going to reschedule this to talk like this online together.
Okay.
And what it would be great is if you can bring that information before that time so that we can see what we can find out on our side.
Okay.
Sometimes we can find out if you can bring us enough for us to go with.
Yes,
like the policy, a copy of the policy number and the name of the company, anything with it written down. Just, they were supposed to give you what was called a declaration of coverage.
Mhm.
And it's like a page that you would have put in the car. And if you can go get it from them, ask them to print it for you and bring us that. If not, try to find out what the policy number was
Okay.
and the company name, and we'll see if we can help.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Ms. Shepherd.
Am I good to go? Because I do not know how to use Zoom. Like I was having it difficult. I think you have a nice Thanksgiving.
You did really well. You did very well. Thank you. Okay. All right, Mr. Mattson, Mr. Sharkey, where are we with this case?
We're gonna go ahead and set for final pretrial, Your Honor. And
Okay.
Mr. Sharkey needs to have a discussion with you about court dates moving forward.
Okay, I'll talk to him. I'll move you forward with Ms. Street. Ms. Street, I'm moving you into that pretrial space. And you can unmute, it'll help.
Hey, good morning, Your Honor.
Hello. Thank you, Ms. Street. I'll move you on over now. Okay, Mr. Sharkey, yes.
Yes, good morning. So
We're
I'm
scheduled.
deploying in January, so I think that could be a potential issue for the trials going forward. I'll be gone for 9 months.
Okay. Well, right now we have a final pretrial December 14th. Can I, just one moment, yeah. What's my next available pretrial? Well, that's probably the best one. Huh? Yeah. Is there one earlier that we could grab? Just 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. A week from tomorrow, I have another pretrial that we could move you to, and that'll help give us a little more space.
That would be great, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll let the prosecutor know what time. Okay, 2 o'clock on November 30th. Okay.
Got it.
Okay, we'll see you then, and we'll figure out what's going to happen next.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. I mean, 9 months. My next available on the jury. 4 months. Worried about it. Worried about inconvenience. All gonna be. In Takachi's case, a no-show, give them a call. Let them know they got a final pretrial coming up. They can talk to me about why they didn't bother before then. They can resolve it beforehand, but otherwise they need to be in court unless they have a good reason that they didn't follow motion. They're sliding back into old ways. Latasha Laval, no show at all. And then they have Adam Gonzalez. I got wound care in 11. I just read it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, they're probably in the final picture of the 17th and today's. Well, Mr. Dickens came to the report. For the celebration, yeah, at 2. That was in person, so if we was a prosecutors, we can always contact them. Okay. Me too. All right. Sorry, I'm just trying to check in at Scott and White. So, dude, I've got to get to wound care.
How's your knee doing?
I need to skedaddle as quickly as I can, but I want to take care of this too. Okay, where are we with regard to these cases?
We're going to go ahead and set for final pretrial, Your Honor, but I do believe that they will be resolved prior to that date.
Okay, Ms. Threet, unless the cases are fully resolved, I'll expect to see you on the final pretrial, and that's going to be December 14th at 1, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you have
Thank
any
you.
questions? Do you have any questions, ma'am?
No, everything is resolved.
Or it will be.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. Matson. I hope everybody has a great